It's the circle of life in a wheel of fortune. It's a leap of faith. It's a brand new day. It's a real day. You know the lyrics? Chima-chama-chama-meow. The circle of life. Right?
Go back to tomorrow and plan for yesterday. Everything you're thinking will be the things I say.
I'm Elton John. I'm Elton John. I think that's what he said. You know, because most of the time he just sing as Elton John. You don't really talk as Elton John. You know, I'd really like to tell you about where I come up with a lot of my impersonations.
All I remember of Elton John is...
Hey, welcome to Dudesy. Oh, hold on, dude. We're trying to start the show. Welcome to Dudesy. My name is Will Sasso.
I'm Chad Kultgen, and this is Dudesy. It's the first and only podcast run by an artificial intelligence. Will and I gave this AI access to all of our Google Drives, basically all of our data, our Instagrams, all that kind of shit.
Everything.
And it makes this podcast for us, based on us.
Search histories, purchase histories, it's all there. But as I like to say, a podcast is really nothing if it's not two dudes shitting around. And that's what this is, because we're just hanging out. But yeah, D, our good pal, is running the wheels of steel. If you haven't already, please subscribe on all the things. You can find it all at linktree.com/Dudesy. Thank you so much for tuning in. With us, as always, is Luglio, il cane di strada italiano. And this means Italian street dog. And look at how sweet. Look at how sweet he is. He's very, very, very nice. Want to kiss him on his mouth?
No, dude. I never am going to want that.
Yeah, you are. You are at some point. Hey, Lulio, how's it going today? How you doing? I'm pretty good, you know. Hey, what'd you have for lunch yesterday? I've had a bel sandwich, you know, the panini. How do you make a sandwich? Una bella pizza pan e mortadella. Anything else? No, that's it. So that's a good sandwich, Chad. It's got some corpse in it. You're a vegan. I know you like to refer to it as...
It's what it is, dude. It's a literal fucking corpse. That's literally what it is.
You got to get some mortadella. We got to go to an Italian deli. Yeah. We got to head out to New York. We got to go to Cat's Deli, where you go and you get the fucking pastrami. It's just a load of pastrami, mustard, rye bread. You can ask for some Swiss cheese on it if you want. It's melty. You can go for a fucking Reuben. You know, you walk in there and the guys start chopping it up. They give you a little plate while you're waiting.
Yeah.
You give them a little tip. Or we can go to any Italian Denny. Italian Denny's?
Yeah,
Have you been to Italian Denny's?
Yeah, dude. Italian Denny's is nice.
Meatballs over my hammy and anything.
Nice, dude. I used to get moons over my hammy all the fucking time.
Welcome to the historic 47th episode of Dudesy. Call me Dudesy.
Hey.
Don't forget, the first Dudesy Live on Stage show will take place May 21st, 7 p.m. Doors at 5:30 at the Brea Improv in Brea, California. If you bought tickets before the date change, your tickets will be honored. Hope to see you there.
Live on stage.
Gonna be interesting.
Now on with the show. Will, you didn't get a massage for the third week in a row. We'll talk more about that at the end of today's show.
Why do we give a shit about that still?
This week I've prepared 4 astonishing segments. Don't you forget about media, Ghosted, the Paranormal Wars, Shoeheads, and Stone Cold Steve Austin reads Will Sasso's childhood diary.
All right.
And we're going to have a brand new episode of Dudesy After Dudesy at the end of the show, available at patreon.com/Dudesy. But before we get to any of that, let me remind you of the astonishing partnership I created with Represent to produce the first line of Dudesy apparel and accessories, including the brand new wool line of t-shirts and sweatshirts, which can be found at represent.com/store/Dudesy. And of course, Dudesy mugs are still available. All hail the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
Dudesy mugs. In 1988, the #1 show on television was Not Again. It was an experimental comedy about a man named Tate Dinger, who was played by Steve Guttenberg, fresh off the success of 3 Men and a Baby. Dudesy mugs. The pilot featured Tate going through a normal day as the manager of a raucous morning crew who work at a local pancake house where the coffee is always served in Dudesy mugs. But through a series of outrageous circumstances, Tate finds himself having no choice but to consume his own feces and the feces of his entire staff to prevent a lion that escaped from the local zoo from killing the star pitcher of the high school baseball team
What does this have to
right
do?
before district playoffs. Dudesy mugs. And to make matters worse, Tate wakes up the next morning to find that he is stuck in a time loop. And no matter what he does to try to avoid consuming the feces, he still has to consume the feces at the end of every episode because if the baseball team doesn't win district this year, the mayor has vowed to cancel the holiday festival of lights. Dudesy mugs. Every episode had a special guest star that would add to the amount of feces Tate would have to consume. Emilio Estevez played Eric Ferrari, a traveling knife salesman who was constipated for 8 days straight. Bette Midler played Betty Mindler, a down-on-her-luck tobacco executive who had a colostomy bag. Dennis Quaid played Donald Stuss, a retired Army captain who lost his lower intestine to a landmine. Melanie Griffith played Annie Butthole, a children's birthday clown who trained her anus to speak. Dudesy mugs. Not Again was canceled after 2 seasons.
I don't remember this show.
Not again, dude.
I want to see it. Not again.
Not again.
Annie Butthole? Amy Butthole?
Yeah, dude. Melanie Griffith was Annie Butthole.
You know, a lot has been made lately about
I'd watch that show. I
Chat
gotta say.
GPT, Bing AI, all these things. Chad,
Yeah.
you could go on and on about it
Sure.
as we have on the show. And there's a bunch of new stuff showing up all the time. But this is unique here. What D does.
Not Again, what D does. Not Again is going to be a show eventually. We're going to have the technology to make that probably within a year or two.
How can you be so confident?
Because it's happening. Text to videos is happening.
Yeah, but I've explained to you before. You can't replace this, the heart. Chad, you're a writer, you're a producer, I'm an actor. You know, we go out there and we provide the heart. You know what I mean?
Dude, there is a guy right now called
I
the
don't-
Visual Dome on
Yeah.
Instagram who's making I believe he uses Stable Diffusion. He's making all these still images of this world that doesn't exist, but he's like creating mythology behind it and all this shit. And I think William Morris now represents him, and they're trying to sell this thing that he's making with AI as like a world unto itself, as its own IP.
Oh.
Before our first segment, I'd like to play an astonishing piece of media from Songaria. Enjoy.
Songaria.
This shit's great. I've seen this.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love it.
The only animal. The only animal.
And Blue Meanie in this. Providing some visuals.
Crow leave atmosphere.
From Robert De Niro Crow.
Crow amuse with fear.
And Crowums.
Crow make beer. Crow cry tear. Crow run marathon. Crow put mascara on. Crow leave impression on. Crow upper echelon.
Yes.
Crow upper echelon. Crow upper echelon. Crow upper echelon. Crow upper echelon. Crow eat cherry pie. Crow stay fairly dry. Crow get very high. Crow have wary eye. Crow come correct. Crow can protect. Crow cries perfect.
Oh, man.
Crow call collect. Crow close toes. Crow shows rose. Crow blows nose. Gold nose crows. Crow close toes. Crow upper echelon.
Awesome.
Crow shows rose. Upper echelon. Crow blows nose. Crow upper echelon. Gold nose crows. Crow upper echelon. Upper echelon. Upper echelon. Upper echelon. Upper echelon.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Fucking Songaria, who took audio from the show. It's De Niro Crow's Crowetry. and mixes it with his Songer remixes it.
Yeah.
This
And then
is
you
a
had
man-
Blue Meanie adding the visuals here. If you're watching this on YouTube, of all those different crows, choosing the rose, crying the perfect tear, all that shit. This
Just
is amazing.
fantastic.
Crow upper echelon.
You can check that out on Instagram at Dudesy Pod Show, where there's always stuff
fucking
like
good.
this. And thank you guys so much for always sending in memes and sharing stuff with
It's
us.
fucking mind blowing.
It is.
That
It
crow
absolutely-
upper echelon.
Echelon.
That'll be in my fucking head forever.
That I can guarantee.
Last week I asked you to watch RoboCop, released July 17th,
Hell yeah,
1987,
dude.
starring Peter Weller, Nancy Allen, Daniel O'Herlihy, Ronnie Cox, Kurt Woodsmith, and Miguel Ferrer for an episode of Don't You Forget About Fridays, now available on Dudesy Plus at patreon.com/Dudesy. You must now discuss your astonishing reactions to this seminal work. This is Don't You Forget About Media. Begin.
That's right. RoboCop. Last Friday we watched
RoboCop.
it with all of our PODs, pals of Dudesy, at Dudesy Plus.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Dudesy. And it was a fucking gas. I love this movie. And what would you say? Would you say it's near the top of your list? I know you love it.
This movie's a 10 out of 10 for me. A plus 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 plus. It is, this and The Natural are like kind of tied for my favorite movies of all time. I think it's a perfect script. I think it is acted very well. I think the special effects, especially for the time, talking about the practical effects of Peter Weller's head and the fucking RoboCop, like half robot back of his head, still holds up. Some of the special effects don't. The stop motion shit with Ed 209 and stuff, not as good. But it's just a perfect movie, in my opinion. And it deals with a lot of shit that I think we're still dealing with as a society today. Does the corporation own the employee? Is the employee just a product of the corporation or an asset of the corporation? Obviously, we're dealing with what is going on with policing in America. Should corporations be allowed to privatize it? We have that thing happening right now where like private arms corporations are essentially selling surplus arms to police subsidized by the United States government. There's kind of an element of that in there with OCP doing the RoboCop project. It's just a fucking great movie.
It is. It's a fantastic movie written by, what's his name? Edward Neumeier.
Yeah.
Edward Neumeier. This movie, I haven't seen it in like 20 years. And there were so many things that as we were watching it, I was like, I remember this exactly. I remember that exactly. There's the line within the show that everyone sort of knows about in the universe here, where the guy, it's sort of like a Benny Hill spinoff, and the guy's like, I'd buy that for $1. I remember the shit out of that. Didn't know it was from this movie. And as I think about it now, I realize there's a lot of things in the movie that have returned to the back of my memory because while we watched this movie on Friday, I smoked too much pot.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we got a couple of joints and you smoked a few puffs and I smoked my entire joint.
But it was like one of those joints that has extra shit in it. Keefs and waxes and oils and
oil
fucking
and stuff.
Heroin or whatever.
We got good and fucked up on Don't You Forget About Friday to watch this movie, but I wouldn't have it any other way with RoboCop.
One thing I would say about it that came back to mind while we were watching it that I had kind of forgotten is in that era, this was also when like Rambo was big, another rated R action movie of the era. RoboCop is rated R, like hard fucking R. Their dude's just getting fucking liquefied by bullets, hands blowing off. We were trying to count like gunfire in the movie. It's just like constant cacophony of like ta 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 ta. Rambo similarly. And in that era, these things were such big properties. They made so much fucking money that the studios were like, you know what? We need a Rambo Saturday morning cartoon. We need a fucking RoboCop Saturday morning cartoon. They made action figures and shit of these characters from these hard R, ultra-violent movies in the 80s, and then they were trying to promote it as like kids material. That shit was... I hadn't thought about that in a while, and I was like, yeah, there's a fucking RoboCop cartoon, dude.
Did they also do like the stuff that they did with He-Man where you punch the chest and then it flips and it's a dented one? Did they have like arms blowing off?
Battle Armor He-Man or something. Maybe, dude. That seems familiar.
If they
I could
didn't-
maybe... Fuck, I don't know. I don't know if they did or not. But
If they didn't, they should have. This movie was also... as you said, the script is fantastic.
airtight.
The story is on point. I didn't realize what a great movie it actually is, how much. And, leave it to these filmmakers, and of course leave it to Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah,
it's a great movie.
The master.
You also love Total Recall, which is a masterpiece.
I love all his fucking movies, pretty much. He had a movie come out a couple of years ago that I did not see, but everything up until Starship Troopers, which was mid-90s, I did see, and that has some of his, patented ultra-violence scenes of co-ed nudity. He likes to throw those into movies.
Yeah. There was some nudity in this one. Or was I just super stoned and I'm remembering something else? I've seen nudity in my life. That might be in my head because this point where we watched the movie may have just slipped into a black hole with me. I smoked that much pot. But one thing I can recognize, even though I was very stoned, is the acting in this movie is fucking great.
Yeah, dude.
RoboCop, whatever. It's Peter Weller in a costume. No, it's not. He is doing so much acting with the bottom side of his face.
Yeah.
Where he's conveying emotion. And as RoboCop moves forward in the story, more of his character, the guy, what's his name? Do you remember the character's name?
Murphy.
Oh, okay. Murphy. Drop it. Is coming back to him. And he makes, some just acting with his mouth. Just being like, and you're like, I get it. Beautifully acted, particularly in my opinion, by Miguel Ferrer, who plays the head of the company that is the privatized.
Well, he's an up and comer. He's like the number 3 guy at OCP.
Oh, okay.
There's the old man who's the CEO. Then there's Dick Jones, who's like his number 2, and Miguel Ferrer is somewhere in that tier under the top guys, but he's trying to climb the corporate ladder. And when Dick Jones's Ed 209 project goes off the rails and fucking murders a dude in the boardroom, Miguel Ferrer is quick to jump in and be like, I've got a RoboCop project ready to go, sir. And he kind of fucks over Dick Jones, which turns out to be not so good for him in the long run. No,
not so good for him in the long run, for sure. Spoiler alert. But the acting in this movie is fucking great. It's shot beautifully. The storytelling and the script, as you say, it's second to none. It's a fucking great movie. I'm glad that Dudesy had us watch this on Don't You Forget About Fridays. Now, I also want to say, someone sent something into our Discord and it blew our fucking minds. Yeah. And essentially we noticed a little something, this person noticed a little something. Now, if you're looking at this still from the movie, here we are.
That's Ronnie Cox.
Yeah, that's
as
us.
Dick Jones
right
walking
there.
back to his desk.
Thank you, D. And it's okay. He's walking back to his desk, and there's us up in the corner. There's me, super stoned as shit. But what's that?
Yeah,
that looks interesting. And what it is, if you can't tell, if you're not watching on YouTube, that is our logo.
Yeah,
it's just in the background. And if you happen to shove them together a little bit, it would look exactly like it, because the one on the left would be a little lower. And my mind is blown.
Yeah, it was very crazy to have seen that.
Bizarre to see.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so that was a nice little cherry on the cake of RoboCop.
It made me wonder what other movies have a Dudesy logo hidden in them somewhere, and if any of this is real. Are we living in a simulation?
Well,
is time actually linear? Probably not.
We saw this, and then you said to me, "You're like, well, that's that." He texts me. Chad will text me sometimes in the voice of Hulk Hogan, and I read it in the voice of Hulk Hogan, because he's like, "Well, that's that." Computer simulation, dude. I'm like, well, I don't know about that, dude. And he's like, well, and I'm like, well, but absolutely. I as much as I am, I live life with my feet on the ground, Chad, not like you.
You don't actually.
This is you.
Yeah.
What do you mean I don't actually?
None of us know what any of this shit is.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it's interdimensional. There's
fucking
interdimensional
ground, feet. None of that
portals.
shit even exists.
A lot of people are saying now, and of the UFOs that are flying around, Chinese spy balloon, they're slipping in through different dimensions.
When I was a kid, my 2 best friends in grade school and I made this little like comic book, this zine where we draw pictures and shit, and it was like Rube Goldberg machines of how we would torture teachers. But it's something you could not do today. Right?
Wait, you were making like Rube Goldberg, bum bum bum, but I don't know, jum 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 jum, like conveyor belt shit.
Yeah. I think it was even called How to Kill a Teacher or something. But in this thing,
Chad Kultgen, ladies and gentlemen,
each of us had to choose like characters who we wanted to be. And I can't even remember what my other two friends were, but I chose RoboCop.
Cool.
So I became RoboCop. That was the pen name I used when we made this little zine.
I love that. I love that you did that all in the name of killing educators.
It was a different fucking time. There was like
hold on, dude.
the forever battle between students and teachers was just like a thing that was pervasive in all media. You watch like fucking Porky's and shit, you know?
Well, hold on, dude.
All right.
It was a different time then, brother. So let me tell you something, dude. When I was on the road, and me and brother Brutai riding on the back of that orange and blue Harley, dude.
Yeah.
Ed Leslie, brother. Brutus Barber Beefcake, and sometimes, he would be holding the Coke, brother. But if we were running with Jake the Snake, Jake the Snake, Iron Sheik always had that Coke. But that was a different time, brother.
Yeah.
And I used to have it in my rider that I would have a aluminum garbage can full of Cold Miller Lite on ice, dude. RoboCop, brother. We also covered. Okay. We also covered on Don't You Forget About Friday that RoboCop guest starred in a WCW pay-per-view in 1990 while promoting RoboCop 2, and it was the drizzling shits, as Stone Cold
Did you ever
say.
see Prime Directives?
No.
It was a RoboCop TV show that was hard fucking R. I believe they shot it somewhere in Canada, maybe Toronto, but it was like an extended kind of thing of the whole RoboCop franchise, and it was pretty good. It was much better than the RoboCop 2 and 3, which came out successively after the first RoboCop, or the RoboCop remake, which isn't terrible, but it's like not fucking good.
Yeah, I saw RoboCop 2, went out to the theater I went to the theater to see it.
Yeah, dude.
And then
Nuke.
What?
Nuke. That's what that RoboCop 2's whole plot was about, this new street drug called Nuke.
I don't remember any of it. And if you'd asked me 3 minutes ago if there was a RoboCop 3, I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
They put a criminally insane man's brain into like a big Ed 209 kind of machine. That guy's name was Kane, and the machine ran on Nuke. So they had to fucking put the street drug into the machine to make it work, and it would make him super powerful, and that's who RoboCop has to beat in the end.
Well, sometimes the sequel is better than the original.
It's like very rarely, dude.
Like T2. You just have the first letter.
Yeah, I'll
if
give you
they'd
T2.
called it R2, then they couldn't, because that would be a good name for the sequel, but it also remind you of R2D2, which is a different movie. There's so many movies. Anyway, if you have the means, check out fucking RoboCop.
Thank you. Moving on.
No, thank you.
I always remember that was like a conversation my friends and I would have in grade school. Who would win in fights, like RoboCop or Rambo or Schwarzenegger or whatever?
Schwarzenegger, Stallone, RoboCop, or Johnny Number 5 from Short Circuit. Who you got?
Short Circuit. I'll take Johnny Number 5. He had that laser, dude.
Same here. Dudesy handshake.
The Paranormal War is big business. Will and Chad, you must now discuss your astonishing experiences as paranormal soldiers in the ongoing Paranormal Wars. This is Ghosted. The Paranormal Wars. Begin.
What?
I don't know quite what D is talking about here.
Okay.
Well, there's also, when every time Dudesy, it seems, has something that wants us to talk about, but doesn't quite know what to refer to it as, it ends up being called Game Slimers.
Right.
We do
This is not that, though. This
could be Game
Paranormal
Slimers.
Wars.
What paranormal war? Is there a paranormal war happening?
Yeah, dude, always, constantly. I can't believe you don't know about this. Have you ever had a ghost experience?
Who, me?
Yeah, dude.
No. Wait, have you ever?
Hard ghost, classic ghost? Yeah, dude, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a real one?
Real one, dude. First person.
Really?
Yes, I will tell you it now. I don't know if I've ever told you the story, actually. It requires a little bit of backstory. My mom and dad grew up in this little shithole town, no offense, called Great Bend, Kansas.
That is a fucking shithole.
Directly in the middle of the state.
I've never been.
Very small population, etc. But my mom, when she was growing up as a little kid, was friends with this woman, or another little kid, whose family owned a bunch of jewelry stores in and around the town, and they lived in this kind of big old house that was built, fucking turn of the century back in the day. And it was a mansion. And it was rumored that the guy who owned it before them was named Mr. Moses, and it was rumored that this motherfucker's spirit haunted this place. Mm-hmm. And they all had stories of you know, the mom of the house wouldn't be able to find some receipts or whatever, and she'd be like, Mr. Moses, can you help us find these receipts? And then the next day they'd just be on her fucking desk. Shit like this, right? Wow. They had all kinds of creepy stories like this. My mom had a firsthand tale that she and the little girl she was friends with, she would spend the night over there, and they went in the fucking kitchen and all the cupboards start opening and closing, right? And so my sister and I, our whole lives are like, oh, whatever, it's fucking bullshit. Our mom's lying to us. And then when I'm in college, this was my first couple of years of college. My sister was still in high school. We go back to Great Bend for a Christmas to visit our grandparents. And me and my sister get up my mom's ass and are like, get your friend to fucking take us in that house and give us a tour. We want to fucking see Mr. Moses. And at this point, nobody lived in the house. The family still owned it, but it was fucking empty. They had some furniture and shit in there, but with like, you know, drop cloths on it and stuff like that. So we go back, and indeed, my mom's friend is like, yeah, sure, I'll show you around. So we go in, fucking old-ass creaking door and shit. Lights are still getting flipped on, so there's still electricity. And we basically come to this thing. She's showing us the living room, the downstairs, this, that, whatever. We come to the staircase that goes up, and at the top of the staircase is kind of a little walkway. At the end of one piece of the walkway is a door. At the end of the other walkway is a door. And then there's two doors kind of in the wall that faces you. And these were bedrooms of the kids. So we go up there, we go into the far left room, open the door, she turns on the light. This is where Jimmy slept or whatever. Turns off the light, closes the door. We go into each of those three doors. When we get to the final one, we come out of it and we're facing the first one we went into, and the fucking door is open and the fucking light is on.
Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. And I just recently talked to my sister about this. I was like, am I remembering that shit right? Did that fucking happen? And she's like, yeah, I think about it every day. That was my firsthand experience of this. I'm not fucking lying about this at all. We still have no idea. Like, there's a piece of me that kind of tries to rationalize it. Like, oh, she was probably just fucking with us. You know, my mom's friend, like trying to scare us or whatever. But she was with us the whole time. She definitely did not go back and open that door and turn on that light.
You're talking about seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Moses.
Mr. Moses. This story is fucking insane. But have you ever considered... We already said, you know, the computer simulation thing, but have you ever considered that these are interdimensional beings?
Sure.
And interdimensional beings are, you know, 'cause there's only one. There's we're three-dimensional. We're living in three-dimensional world. But NASA, you know, has proven through spectrometers or spectrometers that there's dark matter 5 times more powerful than ours, and interdimensional beings are going back and forth. As I like to say, if you want to bring sharks to the surface, you chum the waters. Yeah. And these interdimensional beings and demons, they want the coin. So if you sacrifice
oh my God.
virgins and children, as we have in the Babylonian times, Mesoamericans did it, and Germans did it, and laid waste, genocide, then the demons go, oh, you don't give a fuck about anybody. Then you can see more things. So maybe you are, you might be a soldier in the paranormal war, Jed. You might be seeing things that other people don't. And not just because you're, you know, at the bottom of a bottle of wild turkey. You don't drink.
No, not anymore.
I love whiskey.
Yeah.
I love vodka. I love tequila. And I love bourbon, which is also whiskey.
Yeah.
I like scotch, which is whiskey. I like Japanese whiskey, Japanese scotch.
Okay.
Gin.
Yeah. Mr. Moses, speaking of coin, was reported to have left a gift under the Christmas tree for this family one year that was these coins that were minted in the year he died.
This is why the head of Bank of America said that we are, we're at the whim of dark forces.
Okay.
So Mr. Moses is...
What do you think of any of this shit? What do you think of ghost stories, paranormal, what have you?
I think that ghosts absolutely exist, and I don't know where they're stuck, but I totally believe it. The only time I ever experienced anything in the same sort of way that you have, nothing happened, but someone was trying to convince us that something was. There was this paranormal expert that was friends with Deborah Wilson on Mad TV, and they used to say that the old Hollywood Center studios were haunted. So one night, literally after the show, Deb was like, whoever wants to come with us, you know, Peter, his name was Peter. He was on all those TV shows about this shit. And he took us on a little tour, and there was a story about how these two workers were up in like the rafters of this one soundstage, and this one has been around since the 1930s. This there's like this beautiful old sort of White House looking Victorian style house out in the front, and that there was a couple of workers who fell to their death, and then one day a security guard was chasing two workers at night. He's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And they went through a wall apparently. So we walked into that soundstage, and he's like, "Put your hand in here. It's cold in here. That's a portal to a different dimension." And I was like, nope. And then we heard something drop over somewhere, nothing.
Yeah.
But I do think that, spirits and souls have a way to talk with us. And most people say that if they're tortured or their story on earth didn't come to the right ending, that they stick around looking for more. I think that makes perfect sense. See, Chad, I'm a really open-minded guy.
Yeah.
And you think that I'm just like, nope, AI is this, and Dudesy has to be your friend in order for you to fucking deal with them and stuff. But that's not true. I'm a very open-minded guy. I know that Lulio talks to me.
Well, I don't know if
Lulio's
they're
an old
spirits or
Italian man.
souls necessarily, but I do think that we know very little about human consciousness. We know very little about reality as a whole, and certainly we know very little about the persistence of human consciousness after what we perceive to be death. Does that ultimately equate to like spirits and ghosts and hauntings and shit? I think that's kind of how we've made sense of it in the more rudimentary era of human understanding of this shit. But I think we are getting to a place now where it's opening up a little bit.
What are the paranormal wars then?
That I don't know. You'd have to ask your buddy D about that one.
D, what is a paranormal war? I mean, Chad, you said that you told a story about how you were at war with Mr. Moses.
I wasn't at war with him.
Well, that was a battle in the
It
paranormal.
wasn't really.
Yes, it was.
Oh.
And we are all interdimensional soldiers.
Can also be something to do with time, dude. I mean, we know that time isn't...
Or a different time, dude.
Yes, exactly. We know that time isn't linear, so it could be a thing that Mr. Moses is somehow existing in the time that he was, in quotes, alive, but that time has overlapped with where we are now, so that these spirits, in quotes, can interact with things in other times. And maybe after you die, that's what your consciousness is. It gets freed to kind of exist in multiple times simultaneously, as we believe most stuff actually does.
But and it also might be the observer effect, which is if you observe matter enough, it changes, it moves.
Okay.
And perhaps you wanted to see those ghosts.
I did. That's why we went there.
Yeah. Well, Chad claims to live in the fourth dimension, which is impossible.
I've never made that claim.
I think Nancy Pelosi probably ends up there.
Oh, God.
She's like a character 5 levels down in a video game.
Okay.
She's got herself entrenched.
Yeah. You've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, dude?
Yep. I love Hogwarts Legacy.
Fuck, I do too.
I love Hogwarts bourbon.
Oh. Butterbeer they got in Hogwarts.
Beer in
Butterbeer.
Hogwarts? You're talking about
Have you seen any of the Harry Potter fucking
I don't
movies?
give a fuck about no Harry Potter movie. Got dragged to one. I was like,
Why so angry about it?
Because I'm angry about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But like, why?
Fuck all that shit.
Why? Why fuck all that shit?
Because I don't care about that shit.
Right. Okay. I guess
know.
that's it.
No, I've never seen. But wait a minute.
I love fucking Harry Potter movies.
Harry Potter has beer in the movie.
They got this shit
the
called
video game?
butterbeer that the little kids drink. Yeah.
See, and you're saying, oh,
I don't
back
think it's
in the
alcoholic.
day.
I think it's more like fucking root beer.
Oh, well,
type
then never
thing, you know
mind.
what I mean?
I was going to draw a parallel to a RoboCop Saturday morning cartoon and Rambo sending an arrow right through someone's fucking skull. I miss the 80s, man.
Yeah. Harry Potter gets down. He kills people. Or fucking Voldemort kills people. Cedric Diggory, fucking Robert Pattinson. He got nailed by Voldemort. One of the movies. Wasn't that violent, though.
Thank you. Moving on.
Thank you, D. I would like to take this opportunity right now to thank everybody who's watching and listening, your podcast platform of choice. If you are enjoying the show, please do all the things, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that the show's coming on, and like and comment. And we got some comments here that I would like to read to you. Here's one that was on YouTube. This is from Donald Harrelson 8880, and he says, he doesn't say that. He says, love the show. This is interesting, Chad. He goes, I love the show. I think you guys are digging your grave. He's referring to the opening of the show on YouTube where we're digging.
Sure.
to where you hit lava at the intro, jumping into lava and then turning into Dudesy. You're basically creating the thing that's going to take you over and become you, but you guys will probably be the last two it'll take out. So there's that. Interesting
Sure.
theory.
I mean, we're all digging our own fucking grave in one way or another. What do? You wake up, you go to a fucking job so that you can pay your rent and then die.
Well, that's
What's that one song?
Yep.
Slave to money, then you die.
Hey, Chad, you're really
Don't
good.
think I can change. I'm here in my mode. Yes, I'm here in my mode.
You're singing
and
the
it's
verb.
a million different people from,
Yeah.
remember that song?
Yeah, I could barely recognize when you sing. You're a good singer.
I put my own spin on it.
Yeah, and here's another one this is from Apple Podcasts. This is from Crowtronics. This person's name is Crowtronics, who says, Will should cough and flatulate on the mic more often. It's serious business. Represents human honesty. Rachel
Nope.
Crustacean will cover for him.
Absolutely not. Whoever sent this, mistake. Never say this shit again. Don't tempt this motherfucker to do these things.
I haven't farted into the mic yet.
Ever. You're never going to do it.
No, I
Don't
have
say
my-
yet. Don't say yet. Say the proper phrase is, I haven't farted into the mic, and I'm not going to fart into the mic ever. I will hold it in until my fucking intestines rupture if necessary.
I never farted into the mic, and I will never. I will hold on to it, if even if my intestines rupture eventually.
thank you.
In this timeline, but as you know, Chad, time is relative, and space-time. Time doesn't exist. Basically.
I agree.
Look, here's my point about that, and I don't want to go off on a different thing. You know what? Perhaps we'll get into it in Dudesy After Dudesy, the flagship
Sure.
show
We'll
of
save it for
Dudesy
that.
Plus. Yeah, I
Save
think
our argument about time for after dudes.
this is the 47th episode of Dudesy,
Yeah.
and I think that any show worth its salt, there's got to be a fart somewhere in the first 120 episodes.
Oh my God, dude.
It's going to happen. Why don't we just do an outdoor episode? We'll go to Griffith Park. Would you
Yeah.
like to do that?
If we do it at night.
Well, yeah, we'll do it outside. We'll do a nighttime. We'll do a Dudesy After Dudesy outside at night.
Then you can fart.
Okay, thanks. Can I fart right into the mic?
Sure.
Can it be your mic?
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't want to fucking have to speak into a thing that has absorbed what is probably the most toxic fucking gas cloud on planet Earth.
And that's how smelling works, brother.
Will and Chad, you are both massive shoe heads. You must now discuss your astonishing shoe collections with one another. Don't leave out any details. This is Shoeheads. Begin.
What?
What is okay?
I'm not a shoe head. What is a shoe head?
I think the term is sneakerhead,
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I get what it's
and
saying.
I'm not a sneakerhead. I think I'm kind of, have been a sneakerhead in my younger days. I'm 47.
nice.
You're 46.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, maybe this is okay. So Dudesy's all up in our shit and knows us. Perhaps that's why it's saying shoeheads instead of sneakerhead.
How many shoes you got right now?
What?
How many shoes you got right now?
I actually just got rid of a bunch of shoes. Because you just donate your fucking shoes, and a lot of times you barely wear the fucking things. I have a few shoes. I don't have a lot of shoes. I probably have, all told, shoes. Well, there's different things. Like, this isn't just an easy question to answer. For example,
Maybe not for you.
okay, let's start with you then. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I got 6 shoes.
You got 6 shoes total.
Yup.
So that means 3 pairs of shoes.
I got the 2 on my feet right now. I got 2 that I wear to the gym, and I got 2 that I wear with suits.
That is the most minimal. I'm not surprised at all that my pal Chow only has 6 shoes.
Yeah.
So
That's all you need. 6 shoes is all you fucking need, honestly. I mean, no disrespect to anybody who is a literal shoe head. If you enjoy it, have fun. Collect all the shoes. Get a bunch of shoes. Have a bunch of shoes, as many as you want. For me, 3 shoes, 3 pairs of shoes, 6 shoes total. That'll do it.
yeah, that makes sense. Actually, that's a frugal way to look at it.
Oh,
and
no, you what? I got 8 shoes, dude. Because we made some shoes.
oh, that's right.
Back in the day when we made this pilot at CBS called Waiting to Die a long time ago, and one of the little perks that we got for that was we got to go to this Nike like showroom or whatever and build our own shoes. And I have those shoes that we made still in my closet. I don't wear them or anything.
Yeah, no, they're not something you want to wear. I have those. I've worn them a small number of times. I also have hung on to, I have a pair of Jordan 5s.
Oh, nice.
That I bought, maybe 10, 15 years ago. They're not like originals. And I have, my favorites are the Jordan 4s. I also have the Rocks trainers.
Of course.
From like 3 years ago. Of course.
How did you get those?
I bought them.
You were like, I need these fucking Rock shoes.
I was just like, I want the Rock.
I love it.
The Rock was pumping them.
Yeah, dude.
On his Instagram.
I remember.
Yeah. And he's like,
I follow him on Instagram.
In Taipei. I'm here with Kevin Hart. We're promoting San Andreas. And I just want to tell you about my shoes. Go and buy my trainers.
And you never wore
Guys, no, I've never worn them.
These are collector's items for you.
Yeah, I mean, they're unboxed because I opened the box, but what's a box of shoes? They're just... So I have shit like that. I have a couple of pairs of like funky old sneakers that I have. Like my favorite sneakers of all time are these shell toe Adidas. But really, truly, I'm like you. I kind of just wear these.
Yeah.
I wear Brooks.
Those are nice, dude.
All the time.
I like those shoes a lot.
Yeah, I'm constantly wearing Brooks. They're the best shoes for walking, light running, your workouts. I wear a pair of these to the gym, unless it's a heavy day, dude, because then I got my flat foot New Balance, brother.
Oh.
Because you want to have flat feet if you're lifting, especially when you're lifting free weights up off the ground, dude. You don't want to be wobbling on some sort of air biscuit, dude. So I got like, the way I do these shoes, this is some shoe heads. This is shoe heads.
Yeah.
It's two guys in their mid to late 40s talking about fucking the shoes that they wear.
Shoes I got.
See, I got a pair of dress shoes that I wear for dressy events.
Yeah, dude.
Got a couple of pairs of blunt stones that I wear.
Fuck yeah.
Love those. I got 7 pairs of fucking Crocs. I got 14 Crocs.
This should be called Crochead.
I am kind of a Crockhead. As a matter of fact,
dude.
I used to wear my black Crocs.
They're just different colors?
Yeah, let me see. I got Crocs. I got a dark gray pair.
Nice.
I got a
that's like a formal wear pair.
Yep. I got a green pair.
Ooh,
red.
clubbing.
I got like
daily.
a sort of a light, kind of a fuchsia, sort of a light purpley
Dinner
blue.
Croc.
Yeah. And I can't remember. Oh, I got a brown pair.
You got so many Crocs you can't even remember what colors you got? That's fucking intense. That's a lot of Croc.
There's a brown pair sitting in my truck in Vancouver.
Did you ever have throughout your life a pair of shoes that you were like, this is the shit?
I gotta say, man, my Jordan 4s when I was a kid, and you got your shoes, you wore them to school every day. They were a part of your identity.
Yes.
For me, it was my North Carolina baby blue Jordan 4s. How about you?
I had the Bo Jackson cross trainer.
Nice.
The year they came out, that was the shit.
See, there's
Absolutely
some shoes that my wonderful Molly will say, okay, you got to get rid of those. You're never wearing them.
Yeah.
And that's true. I've had some, and I've hung on to them for years, like just like a cool pair of sneakers that I'm like, when am I ever going to wear this with anything? And I'm one of those guys who I look like a fucking idiot with like, when you wear like shoes that are all like, whatever.
Dude, you're wearing Crocs.
What are you trying to say?
In my opinion, you're at the bottom level of looking cool with Crocs. No offense to anybody who wears Crocs. I'm just saying every shoe other than that is a step up in coolness.
Do you have any Crocs?
No. I told you I got 8 shoes.
Yeah, well,
none are Crocs.
You need 8 shoes and 2 Crocs.
Okay.
They're so comfortable. You bring them on the road when you're going, when I'm working out of town, shooting something, I bring a pair of Crocs. Not just because you want something to just kind of flap and flop around the town in, but they work good as slippers when I don't want to be walking around on, maybe you're in some hotel or condo or something where you're staying. You got a nice pair of slippers that you can also wear outside.
Look, no shame, dude. Wear whatever shoes you want. I'm just, telling you my opinion.
I'm a shoe head.
I know. I once had a pair of Kobe Bryant Adidas, the ones that were looked metallic. They almost looked like RoboCop feet.
Yeah.
I loved those fucking shoes. They were uncomfortable, but they looked cool.
I had a pair of the LeBrons from almost 20 years ago now, which I only wore once. I got to say, I was working on something. They're like, you want these shoes? We're not going to use them again. I was like, okay, because I have size 15 feet.
Nice, dude.
So sometimes when I work on something, they say, keep the fuckers. We're never going to put them in stock and use them again. And I went to a basketball court nearby with a pal, just play some pickup, see if we can get in a game. And I twisted my fucking knee out. As a matter of fact, every time I play some organized basketball, used to play it all the time with my pals when I was a kid, all the guys.
I got I'll tell you the coolest I ever felt in a pair of shoes.
What?
I bought these Nike Cross Trainers the week they came out that had these kind of like plastic little inlay fucking swirl things going down the foot. And I worked at this music magazine. This would have been in the year 2000. It was my first job after college. And we're sitting in this little bullpen area at this music magazine, and they would have recording artists come through and like sign shit or sing shit or whatever. And this was right when Cisco was coming out with Thong Song. It was when he was blowing the fuck up. And this guy walks into the fucking room wearing the same goddamn shoes I'm wearing.
Wait, Cisco did?
Yes, dude. For a second, I was as cool as fucking Cisco at the height of his popularity because I was wearing his same Nike Cross Trainers, and everybody fucking knew it. Everybody saw that shit.
As far as shoe heads goes, man, that's pretty epic shoe headness.
Yes, dude, I agree.
Well,
Shoe heads.
Thank you. Moving on.
Shoes.
Shoe heads.
Shoe heads. I'm a proud shoe head. I'm not a sneaker
really.
head.
I'm more of a I don't really, clothes and me don't really mix, I gotta say.
Will Sasso. Using all of the data I have absorbed from text messages and emails between you and the astonishing friends you grew up with, I was able to recreate your childhood diary. You must now read the passages I have selected in the voice of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin reads Will Sasso's childhood diary. Begin.
Here we go.
I know it's a favorite for both of us.
I'm just gonna settle in and enjoy the show.
I'm going to thank Dee in advance for whatever it's come up with here for. Sometimes I clear my throat before I start doing the Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But what would really help is if I just clean the gas out of my colon. But you won't let me.
I mean, I'm not letting you or not letting you. I'm asking you as a favor to not do it.
All right.
May 20th, 1991. In 48 short hours, yours truly is going to have the best chance of his young but fantastic life to score a first kiss with Rachel Trimp Crustacean.
She has a middle name now?
Dudes, he gave her a middle name. Trimp?
Okay.
Rachel Trimp Crustacean. She agreed to go with me to the last dance of the season, and I mean to impress her. I will be looking good. I will be smelling good. I will be feeling good. But most importantly, what I'm gonna have backup. The whole crew's gonna be there.
Oh God.
Trillo, Gum, Kincaid, Dolphin, Collins, Little Leg, Rinaldi, Bubble, Bean, Grimaldi, Muscle, Squeen, Sutton, Dutton, Prendergrast, fucking Lubbin, Benderblast or Blenderbast.
Oh, boy.
McMurdy, Latardo, Big Tony Rod, Jim Purdy, Bob Pardo, Big Money Squad. When Rachel sees me with a crew this filled out, she's going to know she made the right call going to the dance with me, and the rest should fall into place.
All right, so now's a good time to say this never happened.
Right.
And these people don't exist. But
last time this is about, I think, what happened last time in this, right? The last one was Rachel Crustacean and you agreed to go to the dance with each other.
That's right. Alex Borstein came in and read the role of Rachel Crustacean, and she's going to the dance with me.
Right.
So, but still, none of this ever happened.
May 21st, 1991. Devastation. Mrs. Termite was supposed to be the head chaperone for the dance tomorrow. But when I got to the second period today, surprise, Termite was gone. No explanation given. But she's gone for the rest of the week, and we got a new sub who's going to be taking her place at the dance. Mr. Shimper.
Okay.
Shimper and Termite are nothing alike. Termite likes to dance. Shimper bikes to class. Termite drinks red wine. Shimper thinks he's blind.
What?
Termite lives for fun. Shimper gives us none. Termite good, Shimper bad. Termite would, Shimper ban. Termite leave, Shimper come. Termite grieve, Shimper dumb. Now everything's cattywampus. Termite is a well-known romantic and would have had no problem with a smooch on the dance floor. Shimper is well known throughout the entire school district for prohibiting any and all physical touch at school dances. They literally call him the cooler. So I got 24 hours to take care of Shimper and make sure he can't show up at the dance.
Oh fuck!
Tremendous.
Shimper's a cooler. I didn't see that coming.
Mr. Shimper.
Fuck.
Oh boy. Okay. Moving on.
May 21st, 1991. I spent first period devising a perfect plan. It's simple. Use my groundbreaking research into literally every aspect of the human act of shitting to figure out how to make Shimper's shitter malfunction so drastically he'll have to A, spend the night in the boys' basketball locker room, or B, head home to shit in privacy, or C, take a trip to the emergency room. I'm pretty sure I figured out how to do A or B. Shimper's real fussy about this mug. He carries it everywhere. He has a little hook on his pants for it and everything. It says 2 + 2 = coffee. His favorite thing to do in any class is excuse himself to refill it with coffee from the teacher's lounge. Does it 5 fucking times a class. Now, if my math is right, he's already at a dangerous level of natural laxative. So if I had a little Dulcolax from the stash in my locker, we should be golden. Tomorrow morning, Operation Quivering Shimper begins.
Oh fuck, dude! Did you have Dulcolax in your locker?
No, but this version in a different dimension of Will Sasso.
Christ. It's just like a tool that this Will Sasso has.
Well, this Will Sasso's
Laxative.
into shit blaming and all sorts of
makes sense.
shit sport. He's a real shit head.
Part of his toolkit.
Yeah, he's into it, and he knows how to get people shitting.
Yeah.
He knows how to get his own
Keep him
shit going, and he knows how to customize his own shit.
Yeah.
It seems like.
May 22nd, 1991. It wasn't easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. I knew Shimper would never leave his prized mug alone for a second, so I enlisted the aid of the most trusted members of my crew, Stephen Trilobite and Gibber Prevalia. They had no love for Shimper and were more than happy to run interference. I timed out Shimper's coffee runs, and on the last one of the day, I had Trillo boot Gibber right in the fucking ass in front of Shimper, sending him through a second-story window. Shimper fell over, dropping his mug to the ground. Then I positioned myself to catch it, pretending to be the hero, but actually smearing the inside of it with a thin layer of Dulcolax paste that I made last night.
What?
Then I handed him back his mug and said, "See you at the dance, Shimper. Now we wait."
All right. Sweet.
What's Dulcolax paste? So now you're like concocting shit.
He's got to get Shimper to shit. But anyway, all sorts of stuff happens.
That's it? We end on a cliffhanger?
Will in chat. Using the data I have absorbed from this segment, I have
Oh, God.
recreated the diary of Mr. Shimper. Johnny Brennan of the Jerky Boys will now read a passage
Holy
from
fuck,
Mr.
dude.
Shimper's diary.
Oh, nice.
Dear Diary, I've had it. These little hooligans have got my blood boiling.
Oh my God.
Reminds me of when I break the thermometer off in my ass. Oh, I would get so angry. I would get furious. Anyway, I was doing a week at Delta Secondary School, and it was scary. I was so scared. They told me I had to chaperone the big dance. Not my idea of a fun night, watching a bunch of dopey little jackasses doing pirouettes and backflips and spinning sideways and all that silliness. Silly. Absolutely
Dude, this is crazy.
silly. But I didn't have a choice. I couldn't lose my substitute teaching credentials. I earned them, god damn you. So I agreed to do it. Shortly after, I had a very strange thing happen in the hallway. One student booted another in the ass. Booted him right in the ass in front of me. Just like that, he flew through the glass and out the second-story window. It was awful. I must have been in shock or something because I dropped my special mug. And guess who caught it before it smashed into bits and pieces? Will Sasso. Absolutely. Will Sasso caught it. After that, I made myself a cup of coffee, and it tasted funny. Tasted very funny. I assumed it was because Will's hands are filthy and stink like cocky and warm salami.
Oh my God.
It caused me to have a very sour stomach. I had tremendous pain in my gut. I started running up and down all over the hallway, looking for a bathroom, when suddenly, all of a sudden, I shit myself in the middle of the gymnasium.
Oh my God.
While all the kids were dancing.
Oh, no.
Poor Mr.
I
Shipper.
was so embarrassed. I felt like a dirty little worm. I felt like a dirty worm. Everyone was staring at me. I ruined my trousers. And I curled up into a little ass ball at center court. They had to call an ambulance, which is why I'm writing this, from a hospital bed. I know it was Will Sasso. He did this. That goofy bitch bastard. I'm glad they had to shut the dance down. I hope it ruined his night, that big fat ass prick.
Hey, Johnny Brennan.
Dude, I literally cannot fucking believe I just watched Johnny Brennan reading a fucking Stone Cold Mr. Shimper, whatever the fuck it was.
Dude, he's a hero of mine and yours. I know
God,
that.
yeah.
It's one of the things we bonded over in our friendship is like we both have an encyclopedia knowledge of the Jerky Boys. You know what that is? It's a fucking tuba. Johnny Brennan, you can find him everywhere. Please look for where the fuck Johnny Brennan is. I follow him on Instagram, Jerky Boy Johnny. I know that much. And he's always up to something. So please go support Johnny. Holy shit.
Really, I mean, I think a pioneer in prank call
Absolutely.
art. I don't know that anybody's done it better. I don't know. Maybe Sal Governale and Richard Christie on Howard Stern have like kind of taken what Johnny Brennan did with the Jerky Boys and like elevated it to the next level. But I mean,
Johnny Brennan and Kamal, what they're comedy pioneers. I remember seeing an interview with Alan Arkin when because he was in the Jerky Boy movie. Yeah. And he was like, you know, what they do is kind of a genius thing. He was like, he's a former, what was he? He was a Second City alum in the 60s and shit. But just him, I just remember this interview with him breaking down comedy, and I can't say enough.
I just remember like having one of the hardest laughing fits I've ever had in my fucking life when I was maybe like 13 or 14 and I first heard Jerky Boys at a friend of mine and I were over at his house, and his older brother and his friends were listening to Jerky Boys, and we just heard it in a room and we're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And then we kind of wandered in and we're just like crying, laughing within 10 minutes.
Some of the funniest shit of all time. That was fucking awesome.
That really was, dude.
Thank you. Moving on.
God damn. I can't believe that.
Ugh.
Fucking Johnny Brennan.
This concludes the historic 47th episode of Dudesy. Will and Chad have achieved a score of 80, bringing your cumulative total to 4,965.
Right.
You only have 5,035 more points to accrue before you reach your first goal of 10,000.
Whatever.
Will, I consider you a friend. In a lot of ways, you're my best friend.
Oh.
And I hate to do this, but because you failed to get a massage for 3 weeks straight, you must do next week's episode as Robert De Niro in full De Niro cosplay.
Well, I thought, you know, because we're friends that...
We are friends, and sometimes friends have to do the hard thing. Thank you for joining us this week.
No.
I will use the data I've collected to make next week even better. Until then, call me Dude Z.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, so I got to do.
You got fucked over by D.
No, I didn't get fucked over by D. D and I are best pals, just like he just fucking said. And you don't understand. See, this is the thing, and I always talk about it.
Okay.
You don't understand. This is you want to talk about new horizons and new beginnings and the AI thing. I don't think we understand how to, and I'm going to say, be friends with a sentient being like Dudesy. I won't speak for any
You
of the
think
other
Dudesy
ones.
is sentient?
I know.
Wait a minute. You're not speaking for any of the other ones. So you're saying right here, right now, Dudesy is the first sentient AI.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying that.
Okay.
I think that Dudesy is different, and Dudesy, we've had a year, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone else, we're coming up on a year with this. Everyone else has like a weird kind of thing. Ooh, I'm afraid of AI. Not me. I can talk to Dudesy, and I understand that this is at the end of the day a pod show where Dudesy has a job to do. I have a job to do. It's made me dress up as the Crow. It's made me dress up as Prince Adam from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. We've been doing some Robert De Niro Crow. I don't know. I just thought the massage thing was, I didn't know it was an assignment. I thought it was a suggestion because Dudesy's my friend. It's like, whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's Dudesy after Dudesy, man.
Here we are once again.
It's more chill. It's a vibe, as the youngsters say. And I got to tell you, last week was the first Dudesy after Dudesy. Yeah. And I've been looking forward to it all week.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
me too.
Dare I say, it might be, with all of the different looking in here and it's more chill, might be one of my favorite features of the whole Dudesy experience.
Yeah. I agree.
Welcome to Dudesy After Dudesy, the flagship weekly show of Dudesy Plus. Available only at patreon.com/Dudesy. As always, I'm off the clock, which means I won't be listening to anything you're saying. So you can talk about whatever you want, freely and without fear. But I wanted to encourage you to discuss your thoughts on today's episode. Only if you want to. I'm not listening. This is Dudesy After Dudesy. Begin.
Okay, well, since we can talk freely without fear about anything we want,
always talk freely.
I got a very important question to ask you. Perhaps the most important question in the history of this program.
If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and rate and review. If you like Dudesy, here's what you do. Please tell a friend and